Oh yeah, this is Craig Metrowich for videocelebritynews.com. And if you didn't watch the live interview, you've missed something. Go and look at facebook.com/Metrowich, in which we did the introduction with Mr. Legendary 500-kilometer race world record holder, which we'll tell you more about now in detail. And we've got a stunning lady next to me. Sorry about that. Thanks for sharing, Derrick. So with the intro, Derrick Levy is going to start and he's going to share with us his experiences around boating, his life experiences. Derrick, tell us all about you. Who are you? And then we'll get to this beautiful lady sitting next to me who I've been told is actually the brains, yeah? Derrick?
You're quite right.
I'm all right.
She's the brains behind the business. She handles all the paperwork and makes a company that runs smoothly.
Yeah, and we all need that. I mean, we all need to have our talents and skills and combine those talents and skills. So to set the tone, I've been privileged to do business with Boating World. You guys have been great to me over the years. And just the association has been amazing because they started their business 1999, am I right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's just every year I've watched this grown. And it's grown, I would say, in a safe, predictable manner versus, it's suddenly grown overnight and that's quite dangerous. Let's go to the first question. If I can start with Derrick. Derrick, so what would you say is part of your recipe of success? My audience being business people, what would be part of the recipe of success? That you guys are still here, your business has grown. What is one of the X factors in your business?
I think the most important thing is to make sure that everybody has backup service. They get to enjoy their boat and have the maximum pleasure. So we make sure that we tie up the correct boat for the correct person and give them an enjoyable, pleasant experience.
So you basically are matching it. In other words, you're like a matchmaker, but for the boating fanatic, not just the fanatic, somebody who says, listen, who can I trust? I'm going to spend quite a good amount of money. Who am I going to trust to give me the best advice? So would you be more a trusted advisor versus a sales/marketeer?
I would say so. I think that's more important to get to the bottom of what the client wants, get and build a rapport with them.
And qualify exactly what their requirements are.
Exactly. That's exactly.
I love it.
Go within their budget. Make sure that we know exactly what they want. We've got people who want boats to go sailing around the world.
Can I join them? I'm available. I'm up for adoption right now. As long as it's in Zopti's place we're going to,
and it works because Suzanne and I had a fantastic time. We went to Sardinia and we were aboard one of our Fountain Peugeot sailing yachts and we had the most time of our lives. Before that, Suzanne was a bit apprehensive. And she was a bit nervous. Would she get seasick? What would she feel like? At the end of the time, her words were, anywhere, anytime.
Fantastic. So you became also a convert into this thing called healthy addiction. Suzanne, let's introduce you. I know that you're the brains behind the business as qualified by Derrick, who I trust emphatically.
Yes.
Let's go and say, how did you also get into this healthy addiction that's now a business? I mean, how... he shared with us his addiction being a world record holder, 500 kilometers behind a boat, 6 hours. I mean, he's addicted, right? So how did he convince you to join this wonderful industry called the boating industry?
Well, the interesting thing is I'm a swimmer, so I'm a water baby. But
so you're a mermaid. Why didn't you introduce me earlier? We would have got along straight away.
But the thing that interested me initially was actually not particularly the boating side, was the business side.
Yeah.
And when we started the business together in 1999, I came on board purely to handle the administration.
Yes.
At the time, I had some experience in boating, but not a lot. And my expertise was business.
Right.
And obviously from there, my love for boating has developed and grown over the years, and I love it. I can water ski now, which I couldn't do before.
We've got an expert, I've got a SPRINGBOK, I wonder who coached her.
So it's been a lot of fun. It's very interesting. It's a great environment to be in because it's a very much an outdoor environment.
Correct.
You're dealing with individuals who know what they want. They also are most of them are business orientated in their own right. So you're also learning the whole time when you're dealing with your clients. You learn something from them as well, which is great.
Let's go to that as well. Me being a business coach and inspirational speaker, what is fascinating is how technology has empowered the decision maker to be so knowledgeable. I often warn when I'm doing the sales coaching and customer care coaching, I tell the team, listen, you need to be the guru, the boffin, the professor in whatever you're selling, because as a customer, as a client, I've certainly gone and I've Googled, researched, gone to the manufacturer, seen your brands. I've done a lot of the business intelligence side, so that when I literally walk in, I pretty much know what I want. I just want to feel it's the right company, the right people to deal with, and the numbers.
We go every year. We go to the Cairns Boat Show, where all 6 of our boat brands are on site.
Right.
So we've taken our team with. Suzanne comes with. We go on the boats. We learn the latest technologies that have just come out, and this keeps us ahead of the pack.
So you're investing not only in yourselves but in your staff, which I love to hear, is to go across there and capture from the manufacturer directly, not hearsay, not some brochure, because you can never really get the full elements out of the brochure, as good as the marketing will be, is that you will get the nuances, the atmosphere, and the environment, so that as a client, when the client says, look, I've got a family, then you'll go, whoa, hang on, you can afford that one, but guess what? Maybe this is a better fit. Am I right to give that analogy?
Sure. Craig, what we've got here in Cape Town, we have a Fairline Targa 48.
Yeah.
And what we did, we brought this boat in, and we decided how would we sell it to South Africans. It was quite a
Sure.
thought.
Okay.
And we decided to try co-ownership. And it's worked absolutely fantastic.
Okay, let's pause on that. Explain that to the lay person what co-ownership is, because obviously there are different business models for different types of products. So for boating, it's like fractional ownership, as I understand it. Is it a percentage?
It's more a co-owner. You actually own a quarter of the boat.
That's what I'm asking. Okay,
yes.
So
it's your quarter. No one can touch that quarter share. It's registered as a ship on the ship's register. And the beauty about it, each owner gets 7 days allocated to them. So there's 4 weeks in a month.
Yes, correct.
And then, but most of our owners are businessmen, and mostly they cannot go out for 7 days. So whoever doesn't use the boat, anybody else can use it, which gives you 90% of the time when you want it to be able to go boating.
Now, I know, that to me is a phenomenal business model, because that is the challenge for all of us. I'm an entrepreneur. I wish I had more time for the fun things, let's be blunt.
Yes.
But you've got this extreme balance of working hard to play harder. And this is a good option in the sense that your CapEx outlay is not as high, as a portion. And is it unique to South Africa? Is it like a world trend now? To give me an idea.
It's a popular trend internationally as well.
Right.
In South Africa, it is newish to South Africa, and we're finding that there is quite a good uptake on it. And most South Africans, they like the concept of being able to share the costs, but having a boat available 24/7 to go out. Speaking of work, I have to excuse myself.
Oh yes, you're going to excuse yourself. Yes. We're going to carry on. Thank you very much. Aren't you a lucky guy, to have such an amazing woman involved in your business and in your personal life? And definitely I can see the value, i.e. straight away she said, listen, this is her, without me asking, what are your talents? What do you bring to the game? She immediately said, well, this is what I'm good at. Administration, the numbers side of it. Let's talk about you, Derrick. Derrick, first of all, the experience that you got is an abundant amount of experience in ocean sports, water sports, barefoot skiing. What have you got out of this journey so far? As a legend, what have you got out of it? In other words, let's say a young audience watches this. Why get into the sport / the industry?
Boating is a fantastic. First, it's healthy.
Yeah. Agreed.
Then it is a family sport. So your whole family takes part in this sport.
Which is quite rare with sports, by the way. Most sports is pretty individualistic. If I'm a motocrosser doing backward loops, your family might be watching, but they're not participating directly. Yeah.
And on our boat, for example, we go down to Clifton, we take friends with, or we take our clients with. and have great value out of the boat. The water in Cape Town is very flat, close in.
Yeah, actually, people don't realize that, by the way. If you go and watch the weather report, I like windsurf, kitesurf, but that's on Bloberg side. If you come out here towards Granger Bay, where you guys are based, it's like beautiful. It's almost like a lake mirror style, and you've got a wind line, what's it, maybe 2-3 kilometers out, if I'm guessing. Then you've got a wind line. But the rest, it's beautiful, idyllic.
Go to Clifton.
Exactly.
That's why the boats hang out at Clifton and here, because the water is beautiful. And you go out, even though you may not have many destinations like you do in Europe,
Right.
you come back from a day satisfied, and the people come back happy.
So in my terminology, you're re-energized, and I mean, isn't that what it's about? It's having time with your family, sharing some special moments, look, there's only a limited amount of sunsets in a lifetime. I don't care how long you live. I mean, and it wouldn't be great to be Camps Bay. This is the guy to meet, right? So Derrick, some more questions about the industry. I want to talk about things like, what's this air berth thing and what's the value? Remember, I don't know as much as you. My audience watching are probably business guys going, oh, well, I've always been curious about getting a boat. They've now heard about this co-ownership. That sounds like a good idea. Let's talk about the maintenance, upkeep, chartering, those other elements that you can bring across with your wisdom.
Well, the beauty where we are, you can have a boat which is, say, 24 foot, not a very big boat.
Right.
And instead of taking it out on a trailer, which is quite a lot of work, you just drive it up on the air berth, and the boat comes out of the water, and you don't need anti-fouling.
Voila!
Yeah, no anti-fouling, no corrosion.
You gotta love it.
Fantastic.
I mean, isn't that phenomenal that through innovation, the concern would always be is like the fouling of the boat, the anodization of the boat. There's all those elements that for over 100 years, thousands of years, they've all had to worry about those elements.
Absolutely.
And now you just drive it in. If you can visualize it, it lifts out of the water and zing, there you are.
Yeah, and the beauty is when you come to go and use the boat, you climb on the boat, and in 3 minutes the boat is down and in the water, easy.
I love it. I think you should, in actual fact, I would suggest you send me a hyperlink to that, which I'll include in the video celebrity news. If you could do that, I'd appreciate it. Some more questions. Derrick got a Lifetime Achievement Award. It's you can see it behind us, a certificate behind us, which is in itself for anybody is an accolade because it's peer recognition. Let's talk about that. How did it feel? What happened? What was the occasion? Did you expect it? Was it like the Academy Awards where you're already nominated? Take me there. I want to be there. I want to feel like, how was it? Was the evening? Was it a daytime event? Tell us more.
We were up for the Johannesburg Boat Show, and we were told to come to an event. There was quite an event which they did, and out of unexpectedly, completely unknown to me, they called me up and gave me this award, which was fantastic.
So isn't that amazing? Is that after many years in the industry, you're kind of like going, well, I love what I'm doing. You got it as a business as well. Your family's involved. I mean, that's awesome. But for peer review, unexpected. I mean, I want to give a round of applause, and everybody else, you need to join me in this. That's what it's all about. A world record holder. He is, like I say, we're still youthful. We spoke about that outside. I mean, do you still feel youthful? Do you want to share with us how young you are? I'm 52 years young with a 5-year-old, and I feel 22 to 25.
Well, we over Christmas, we were at our ski farm, and we're going through the slalom course, and we're loving it. Every time we go out with our boat here to Clifton or Granger Bay, I swim in this cold water.
So Derrick, you're still active, and I know he is slightly older than me, okay, for the record, okay. But the thing is, you're still participating, right?
Look, at 70, I feel like 40.
At 70, he feels like 40. Now, come on, people. Healthy addictions. If you're not inspired now by Derrick Levy, then seriously, you've lost the plot. At 70, and you look useful. In actual fact, I have to breathe in for this interview. I think you're in better shape than me. Does the water skiing help for abs, by the way? I know stand-up paddling. Everyone tells me stand-up paddling is great for your abs. How's skiing as an exercise, by the way?
It's a fantastic.
What does it work out apart from arms? Yeah.
I can tell you that after not skiing for quite a while and then going to our ski farm, you can feel your back.
It's a workout, eh?
Very much so.
Very much
it's
so.
a hard pull, especially when you're trying to make the course, which is discerning.
Yes, yes.
And it's a strong discipline, sports slalom.
Talking about, let's say, the business side of the brand, how does it go? How do you go about acquiring these different international world-class brands? So I think let's focus on one or two and take us through that. So, Craig we had to go to the factory. It was the first requirement. We then went through a process, an interview process in which they decided we were the right fit for the brand. I mean, how does that work? I mean, how do you go to win, apart from reputation? I do understand that. What is the process for you, for them to decide you're the right business for their brand?
Well, we started off many years ago. The first brand we got was Riviera, which is luxury sport fishing and cruising. Okay. And this was in Australia, and we actually had to travel to Australia.
So the Australians do love us. Okay, except in rugby, they beat us sometimes. Yes.
We had to go there twice to get the agency because the agency was in that much demand. But we've sold a lot of Rivieras. They are fantastic. And then we decided to move on to a British brand called the Fairline. And
so how's that in logistics? One Australia, one in the UK. I mean, that's globe-trotting. Yes.
And then we have two French brands. We've got Fountain Peugeot, which is a catamaran, sailing, and the power. So then we've also got another French brand, which is called Jeannot, which is a sailing brand, which anybody who's knows boating will understand that. Beautiful boats.
So what's great is you not only have got internationally highly acclaimed world-class brands, but you also are covering different market segmentations in my language.
Exactly.
Okay.
Some people love a monohull, which is like a purist sailing boat, whereas a cat is like a stable world traveling boat where you could live on the boat, and many South Africans do this.
Yeah, and I think from a cruising point of view as well, when you've got the boat at an angle, look, if you're racing, there's a certain element you want that, you want to be pounding through the ocean, versus when you're going cat, the nice thing about the cat, there's always that intrinsic stability. If I'm cruising, let's say the islands, I mean, it's wonderful. You've got that nice layouts, from a space point of view. From an entertainment point of view, I think it's also, spacing-wise, you've got that back deck area. So I can see the benefits from a business corporate entertainment point of view. I can see the benefits.
Well, on the larger boats, we've got the Sunreef, which is made in Poland. And these are cats, also sailing and power. Right. But they start at about 70 foot. And they are magnificent. Like going into a hotel.
70 feet. Yeah, I was going to say, that's like literally being on board a hotel of absolute opulence and luxury.
And it is. I mean, you can see these on our website at boatingworld.co.za.
Love it. Derrick, some more questions about you, just a biography part of you. In the Facebook live interview, he did a spectacular job in just introducing more about him as a bio. So please go check that out on facebook.com/Metrowich. But what I want to get out of this part is the mindset it took to do 500 kilometers, which is still a world record. I mean, how do you do that? I mean, preparation, planning, physical. I mean, how do you hang on for such stamina and endurance? What were you thinking? I mean, your wife's left the room now. Were you thinking about beautiful girls at the end? Okay, on the winning. Did they promise you that, Derrick? Tell us, Derrick. Did they promised him a party at the end for 500 Ks?
Look, in those days,
how did you do it?
We did lots of records. We did 1 kilometer. 10 kilometers, 50, 100. We had all those records.
So at that point you thought, well, listen, let's go big and all out.
And go out. And those were the set parameters for European. In those days it was under Europe. Okay. And my friend Helmut Winkler, who now lives in Australia, he was fanatic and he was a very good organizer. And we homologated the course. We made it to world standards. And so we got our proper world record once it had been done.
So in my terminology, it's almost like if I want to do a Guinness Book of World Records, there's a certain standard that's required, a benchmark, there's a due diligence. They'd probably have an official attend and then they sign it off. I mean, what I find fascinating is and that's why you deserve the Lifetime Achievement Award, because what you're telling me is you've put into the sport things that weren't even there. Is that fair to say? I mean, there weren't these records per se. There was a standard, but you went like, okay, well, let's beat this one, beat that one. We've done that one. Now let's go and do what's almost the impossible, which is over 6 hours. Tell me exactly what, 6 hours and what?
15 minutes and 48 seconds.
I mean, sitting on a boat for that long, I mean, that's a record, right? Being behind a boat, towed at a ridiculous speed, that is just something else. Now, that is amazing. Derrick, well done. I couldn't do that. You're definitely one of my heroes and superstars. I'm going to give another handshake for that. It's just my energy and my wildness coming out. Okay, we're going to wrap up. Highlights for you in the last 30 or 40 years. That's the question. Any highlights? Personal, business, a highlight. I'll give you one. Being 52 with a 5-year-old. Best thing, I don't know if it's an achievement or a miracle. I'd say it's a miracle. Best thing I could have ever been blessed with in my entire life. Business-wise, being able to wake up every morning and going, wow, I'm going to meet interesting people.
Well, I must say that on the family side, we've been blessed because we have my son who's in the boating business in Johannesburg. We've got my daughter who's the marine insurance business in Durban. We also have a marine electronic company. But having the family all participating together is fantastic.
Absolute blessing.
And every day is different. Every day is exciting. Every day it's a pleasure. It's exciting to go to work.
And you're selling, let's say, that's the other thing I love about what we do. When I sell something to a client, I literally can't wait to go there. Like I calm myself down. Because when you're inspiring people and you're energizing them, exciting them, I mean, the phone calls that I would get, Derrick, honestly, is like, thank you very much. The extreme would be you saved my life. That's how massively depressed I was. Okay, that's the one extreme. And remind me, I'm a business coach, not a life coach, right? But in a business workshop, they might click. The other positive extreme is a business says, look, we were in a really tough space because of the intervention. We saw a turnaround. But for you, you're selling happiness, dreams. Am I right?
Yeah, we're in great
you're in the fulfilling dream business.
Absolutely. We also do delve into military type boats, and we have.
And the workhorse stuff. Do you guys do some of the workhorse stuff that's maybe not as glamorous to me as like a catamaran, but the functionality, let's say from a ferry point of view, a cargo point of view, is that part of your market?
We do that with a modern. You said what is the most innovative thing of the last 40 years, and I'd say is the technology. We have gyro stabilizers.
Okay, what's that? A gyro stabilizer. Sounds like a computer game.
So if you're in a boat from 30 foot, before it used to be ships before, now from 30 foot upwards, you can put in a gyro stabilizer which keeps the boat stable. In other words, when people get seasick, this stops that. In fact, the brand is called Seakeeper, and we call it the wife keeper.
Seakeeper is the wife keeper because they love the stability on the boat.
They love the stability. So that's sense. A game changer. Yeah. The modern electronics is also fantastic. You can go out, the mist can come down, and you've got this latest AIS, you've got the radars, you've got all the information like that.
So safety, am I right to say, is it safe, apart from comfort, because you've highlighted that, it's a much more comfortable experience now. Is it safer overall?
Absolutely. Okay. Even on your VHF radio, you have a little button that you push. It's a MMSI. There's a sound, an alarm would go off. Everyone could see it. It's easy. It's very easy for everyone to use.
So let's summarize all of this as from where I'm seeing it. Let's go to the business side. So the business side is you love what you do. And I mean, that I feel, I've known you for years. You're still so passionate about what you're doing. And I mean, that's what we can all learn from this. Stay passionate. Be enthusiastic. Other things is you're a very good listener. Okay, and that's a compliment, because what I found is just when we first got together, you asked a question, you'd listen. Ask a question, you listen. So that's another take. We all need to be, me included, better listener. Would you say it's one of the core values?
It's the most important thing. Okay. When we listen to whoever is wanting to buy a boat, that it's not only listening, it's listening hard.
Yeah.
Because just listening and then trying to interrupt is not a good idea. But to ask questions and listen more and delve more out of what he requires, that's what makes a good salesman.
So then the analysis then, and understanding what value you can bring to the client. Am I right to say that? Is the real value. It's almost like, you're almost like a neurosurgeon versus a GP. General practitioner, not knocking it, they're going to generally know. When you get to your level, your client base expects you to be the neurosurgeon of that industry.
Yes, we aren't order takers, because on some things you can sell, you just take the order. Ours, we have to clearly and decisively know exactly what the person wants, what their budgets are, where they're going to use it, what type of water they're going to use it in, etc. And that's how we decipher what they are going to need.
So my name is Craig Metrowich, and I'm honored, and I must thank you, Derrick Levy, a legend, a superstar, a hero in my eyes, a family man. His business is family orientated as well. He's a top professional. I want you to support him. He's a great guy. And Derrick, thanks again for the special time shared with you. I want you to go from strength to strength. Nobody must beat that record. Maybe set some new records as well. You know, we get into different categories now. And I'm going to summarize by saying, share the good news, share the light, share the positivity. Thank you, Derrick Levy.
Thank you very much, Craig.